Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, I don't want to be tech support, overheating appliance. IT Karen, I want it fixed now. Handover of work, total disaster. Construction malfunction. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I don't want to be tech support, overheating appliance. I've posted a few stories about some of my experiences while working as a computer builder and tech back in the early 2000s. Being in tech support was never really my goal, but as the old adage goes, just when I thought I was out, they keep pulling me back in. I graduated college in 2003 with a BA in religious studies and philosophy. I'm a preacher in tech. I'll back up your soul and save your data. Or something like that. Immediately after college, I worked in a factory for a few years while I pastored a small church. At the factory, I didn't have to do much tech support because, being a multinational business has its pluses, including an actual tech support team who has been to school and everything. After rising through the ranks there, I was offered more of a management position at a place closer to home for more money. Smaller company, family feel, that kind of thing. So I took it. I now work for a group of people who, traditionally, shun a lot of modern technology. No, not that group. Making generalities here, of course, but I'm setting the scene. So now I work at a warehouse whose home office is on the East Coast. I'm in the Midwest. Our sales software, inventory management software, email, etc. is all accessed via remote desktop to hosted machines on the other side of the US. So we have to have computers locally, but everything is done remotely. Okay, I haven't worked for a lot of companies, but whatever, I can adapt. Except for the security appliance. We hates the security appliance, Gollum. The security appliance was mandated by the church the salesmen go to. The main company just went along with it, as you do. It sits between the internet at large and the rest of the network. It filters by keyword, content, and some sort of black magic that is only known by the people who maintain the software of this monstrosity. It is, for all intents and purposes, a black box, and I immediately take offense to it. Part of my job is shipping with LTL freight, which means I need access to the internet in order to properly quote freight costs. This is a problem when, for instance, I need to quote a customer that has brewery in the name. $me, address F Southern TN Brewery, quote W300D 48X48X48CRNL. $SA, error, go pound sand. You can imagine I have no love for a black box on the network I have to use. So it was with utter joy when I started to hear capacitor whine. The power supply fan had long stopped spinning, and I could only imagine the amount of dust inside the case that I could not, under any circumstances, open in order to clean. The crashes, reboots, and a few other things all pointed to an undeniable future. The appliance was slowly dying because of overheating, caused in part by poor ventilation, a solid layer of thick dust, and failing fans. I started emailing our one-man tech team on the East Coast. I started complaining about the slow internet speeds, true, remote desktop freezes, true, inability to do my job, slightly exaggerated for drama. He asked me what we should replace it with, as they don't use that kind of security appliance there, because why would they? The taste of victory was so very close. I praised the low cost and ease of use of pfSense, and how I could manually tune a firewall that I had access to, that would allow me to make allowances for such cases as above, how we could still be safe from the big bad internet, and so on. I didn't take this job to be tech support, but I wasn't going to let this opportunity slide by. I couldn't stand the thought of a black box on a network that I was becoming responsible for. After several months of back and forth, a theme that will become apparent if I'm able to continue these stories, and upgrade to fiber internet that the old box could not handle, a decision was made. After weighing all of the options to get another security appliance from the same company as before. Oh, I didn't mention we had a contract with them, right? Because they forgot about that. Not my company, the company that the accursed appliance came from. They lost our contract. They were supposed to be actively monitoring the security appliance, but they hadn't for years. My company was paying them monthly for support that was never rendered because they lost our info. So the obvious choice was to reward them with a longer contract, buying an overpriced machine from them, and staying the course. So what was my solution to all of this? Remember how I said that all of our software was hosted virtually? I did a couple of test searches, and lo and behold, I could search the addresses of breweries. Now I host a VM on my personal server and remote into that anytime I need to find the address of a location that randomly trips the security appliance. The internet is filtered, but not RDP connections. I don't want to be tech support, but I oftentimes find myself in that position. IT Karen, I want it fixed now. Finally, after months of casually perusing this subreddit, feeling large amounts of sympathy towards fellow IT support technicians, I finally had the chance to face-to-off with a Karen of the IT world. Now, some backstory. Although I am a relatively big guy, 196 centimeters or 6 feet 5 inches, for international friends, I really do not like confrontation, even when arguing over the phone about something that I have spent 5 years studying for and know how things work. It made me very mad, but I tried to stay as professional as possible, but I tell you, if we were in public I would have gone off on her more. Me, Karen, JKS, me obviously. K equals Karen. Frank, colleague initially helping her. Me, company name, me speaking, how may I help? K, is Frank available? He was dealing with something earlier but has not fixed my issue? Me, no sorry, he's on another call. Could I help with anything? K, my emails aren't working, I haven't received anything since September 2020. Me, never taking what clients say as gospel until I see it with my own eyes. Oh, that's not good. Let me jump on and see. Asterisk, I check her Outlook on the computer and notice that one of the 6 accounts she has added has, in fact, not received an email since September 2020. I can also see that Outlook is performing an sync/update that was brought on by cache changes Frank had made. Me, yes, I can see that now. Let me check your online account and see if it is also happening there. Asterisk checks O365 online, and sure enough last email came through 20 minutes prior to the call. Classic desktop Outlook being funny. Back to the call to explain what to do next. Me, okay, so looks like the email address is receiving with no issues but get cut off immediately. K, well it's not, can you not see it hasn't received anything since September? Me, yes I can see the Outlook installed is having issues. What we will do is wait until the sync/update completes, as I can see that it is currently updating this mailbox now as we speak. It might just be prioritizing different addresses or folders before getting to the inbox of this one. Asterisk, she wasn't having that. Q full Karen mode star. K, no, you will fix this now. I will not be calling back a 4th time to get this resolved, you need to do it now. Me, little caught off guard, unfortunately we will have to wait for the sync to complete so I can confirm if the issue is related to Outlook program or your profile setup on the program, as they take 2 different approaches to resolve. K, listen here. Are you saying that you need no technical intelligence to troubleshoot this, and if I spoke with Frank would he also say we have to wait for this? No. I need this done now. Me, getting worked up and frustrated at this point. You don't seem to be understanding, listening to what I am saying. We need to wait. Nothing else I can do at this point. Asterisk, yes, technically there is other stuff I could do. Repair Outlook, remove and add profile back, but all would mean more time syncing anyway. Plus, FCK her, right? Me, trying to explain reasoning. Outlook Online is working fine, Outlook program seems to be the one with the issue, so. Cut off again. K, I know it is. Icon F asterisk king CIT isn't wokering. Blah 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 blah. Asterisk I stopped listening to her, because at this point we have been going in circles for about 15 minutes, and I notice Outlook has finished the sync. I take control of the mouse and open the mailbox in question. She is still rambling about she doesn't notice the screen, or that Outlook has indeed completed and all the missing emails downloading from the server as I said they would. Me, pissed off and worked up at this point, can you see Outlook on the screen? K, excuse me? My turn to cut her off. Me, yes or no? Can you see Outlook open? K, yes. Me, read the time and date on the first email you see on the top. K, strangely quieter now, January 25, 2021, her view showed the date and time, 12:06 p.m. Me, so, as you can see Outlook has downloaded the emails after the sync/update was completed. Exactly as I said it would do. Anything else? K, no, that dash. Me, bye. Hangs up and throws headset down. Sorry if that was a bit too long, or for any formatting mistakes, but F*CK me, how dare I recommend a solution to you, a client that is calling for my support. Next time sort it out yourself if you think you know best. Handover of work total disaster. So I'm working at the moment in this big corpo, and they decided some time ago to switch to outsource support model. My contract ends end of February, and for last 12 months Noon contacted me about anything. Literally no contact, no questions, nothing. I was only receiving requests for setting up access for those people. In theory from 4th of January they took over all support. I'm still at the company only because of few unfinished projects that got delayed by global teams. And since Monday the sh*t is hitting fan almost constantly. People in the company are not fully aware of me being phased out, so they contact me with any problem specific to their applications. I refer them to the outsource people. And every single time within 5 to 10 minutes after I refer people to them, they contact me asking for help because they have NOCLUE. One of the managers decided to create a meeting to transfer knowledge. That meeting just finished. It was supposed to be 30 minutes call, it lasted for over 90 minutes. And I'm shocked by the lack of knowledge of those guys. I don't want to go into too much detail, but one part of my job is, or rather was, officially it's their job now, to set up backups on the workstations. It's one of the simpler tasks. Some of the questions I got during that call. Why do we need to do backups? Why do we need to monitor backups? Why do we need to install agent on the computers and configure it? What happens when we restore the files? What happens with the PC that we restore image to? Does the data that was on it stays there? I explained why the automatic restore option doesn't work and why we need to use a specific port and specific method to restore images. In 10 minutes after the call was finished I got questions from different people asking why do we have to do it. The problem is that in next few weeks there will be plenty of new workstations installed throughout the office and labs. Since I'm no longer officially part of the support team, I won't be getting any access to them. Backup is only a fraction of what needs to be done. I know for a fact that those guys have no clue how to even launch a command prompt as local administrator on a machine. Domain accounts are prohibited from being local admins by global policy, so yeah, I expect a total disaster. Wondering what I should do in that situation, because I know they will be bothering me all day long. Would you guys do anything to help them? My days in that company are soon to be over. I have a very good relations with my managers on site. I know they're pissed by the decision from corporate about outsource support, so in theory I should just tell everyone to F*CK off and finish my projects and say goodbye. Example from just a minute ago, one guy was asking again why the automated process for restoring images wouldn't work, so I explained it was because of NAC implemented on the network, and he replied with this. Network Access Control, NAC, is an approach to computer security that attempts to unify endpoint security technology like what the F*CK? Why are you copy-paste Wikipedia to me? Is that a question or what? I'm really sorry for all the people working here, as I know that the disaster is coming, and at the same time I'm wondering what the corporate was thinking when they decided to switch from local support model to outsource. Well, I know what they were thinking: money. The problem is the outsource people live literally 6k miles away, and have no king clue about anything. And I think they only start to realize that this is serious contract, not sitting on the A*S and digging up the nose. Construction malfunction. This takes place in about 2007, working cable internet tech support for one of the big guys. Had the most common of calls: someone's internet isn't working. He says it hasn't worked for a few days. My tools show we haven't been able to get a connection to the cable modem for a few days. Easy first step, right? Reset the modem, check the cables. I do notice he's got an unusually old cable modem registered with us, one of the earliest models possible. Wouldn't surprise me in the least if it had just given up the ghost. Well, he wants to do this without that step, which is, mostly pointless. Best I can do on my end is verify that his neighborhood doesn't have any outages. His neighbors are running just fine. I can send a reset signal to the modem, but it doesn't seem to do anything. No surprise at all. He complains and complains every time I want him to check the modem, until I finally convince him that it's the only step we've got left. Then he explains why. Apparently, a few years back, he was going a little bit of renovations on the room his PC was in, with a contractor friend doing the work. Somehow together their brains hit upon a great idea. Why have to look at a gaudy modem flashing its lights all the time, when you could just wire them up inside the wall, then wire up a fancy RJ45 port to just connect to, like a proper professional office? Yes, this genius had his cable modem literally wired to power and cable inside his wall, then hooked up to a nice clean RJ45 jack that he plugged the computer into. Might have been a router/switch involved. I can't remember, and it wouldn't have been my problem. There's probably at least one code violation in there, but not my problem either. And literally no way to get to that modem without at least cutting a piece out of the drywall. So I told him there wasn't a damn thing we were going to be able to do with it like that. He's gonna have to get to that modem. He's now approaching ballistic, we better figure out something, all that jazz. He's not even friends with that contractor buddy anymore, so he can't even get in there without smashing his way in or actually hiring somebody. He insists we send someone out to him. Now, obviously that's not a thing our guys do. Best case is we might hook him up with a fresh modem and leave his old one to be found by future generations. I tell him that, and no, he wants someone out to make it work the way he wants. Whatever, I set him up for a tech, full notes on what's going on, and remind the customer that we charge for a tech if it's something that's not our problem. This is usually the most empty promise ever, because the company policy was to 99.99% never charge for a tech, just to make sure there's no chance of liability or angry customers from it. In 4 years, I think I saw 3 charges? This was one of them. I don't know exactly happened, because I checked in a week later, and the tech had closed the ticket with the code for not our problem, but nothing else. The customer cancelled later that day. Sometimes I wonder if that modem's still in the wall.